So this question for me is easily answerable because I equate it with the question, what's the meaning of winning the jackpot and the lottery? And why do I equate those? Because for me, life is a lottery jackpot. We had quite a big competition to get life. There was millions of sperms racing toward our mother's egg to fertilize it, and in each of them there was a different genetic material, so different potential people that could have happened. And because our little sperm carrying half of us won the race. I looked this up because I got curious. So healthy sperm with good morphology and high motility, they're more likely to reach the egg. But the fastest sperm is not always the best one genetically. There is some recent research that shows that the egg plays also an active role in choosing. It can chemically attract certain sperm more than others. And this chemical attraction is influenced by the immune compatibility, the genetic distance between the egg and sperm to promote diversity, and I don't know what else, some epigenetic markers. So the egg kind of chooses the exotic sperm. Sperm with damaged DNA or bad motility can still fertilize the egg, especially in IVF procedures, but there might be a higher risk of miscarriage or some developmental problems. Okay, back to the subject. So it was still a huge strike of luck to be born, that our parents were born, that they met and they got along well enough to make a baby, that the pregnancy, the birth and childhood went well enough for us to survive to this day. So that is why I see the question, what is the meaning of life, as totally futile and asked by unhappy people who have trouble appreciating life, people who are not doing with their lives what they really want to be doing. Otherwise, they would just enjoy their lottery win and be too busy spending it to ask what's the meaning of it. So what's the answer to the question, what is the meaning of winning a lottery jackpot or / life? It has no inherent meaning. It's just a lucky set of circumstances, a gift. So you just got lucky, but I'm surely happy that I got it, and I don't need to have it, and I don't need it to have a meaning. I give it meaning by appreciating it, by using it well. I try to. So if you need a specific meaning, I think a good answer is the meaning of life is appreciating life and using it well. Whatever using it well is to you. It's different for everyone because we are all different and have different values, desires, dreams, traits, talents, inclinations. And how do you use life / lottery win? Well, by doing what makes you happy, whatever you want. Not everything you want, but what you want most. Because it's a limited amount of money / time. So I think we have to think what we want most, what we value most, and make sure that we have that or do that. I always believe that it's everyone's duty to make themselves happy first. Because it's hard or maybe impossible to be a positive influence on your environment and society in general and help others if you don't take care of yourself first. You can't give if your bag is empty, materially or emotionally. For some people, they using their life or time or lottery win well means taking care of their family, creating a family, making them happy. For some, it's living a quiet life in nature, working on the land, not experiencing stress, traffic or pollution. For some people, the good life is living in a big city with a well-paid job that brings status or having expensive things, and people envy you on that. And for some people, it's doing charity work or improving life for other humans in some way. For some, it's doing a job that enables you to travel a lot. For some, it's going on a trip around the world, though that can be very cheap. It might only cost you 1 year, which in this metaphor is 1 million euros converted to money. I know it's not much for some billionaires, but come on, it's enough. So for people who value creativity, so-called artists, the good life is having enough time and energy to create art or whatever you want to create, and not necessarily making a living from it, because you often have to compromise and not create what you really want to create if you're making money with it. Or you have to do the same thing all the time, the thing that sells well. I don't think many people after winning a lottery ask themselves what the meaning of it is. They just enjoy the money and do whatever they want with it. They fulfill their dream. They buy what they always wanted to buy. They do what they always wanted to do. They quit their jobs if they don't like them. Some people finish university. Some do charity and help others, buy their parents a house or a car, retire their partner. And that's the meaning of life, to do all that you want, or at least what you want most with your lottery jackpot. So we get about, if you're lucky, 70 or 80 million euros, which in my conversion is 70 years or 80. And yeah, life is time. We get some time to spend on this amazing planet. Instead of valuing time, we value everything, some currency. Yeah, Henry David Thoreau said that the cost of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. So he referred to time you exchange for it. So the time you have to sell to get it. So you sell time by doing what you don't want to do, or you would rather be doing something else. So in exchange for money. And that's what work is. If you're lucky, you don't want to do something else other than what you're getting paid for. So in my opinion, it helps to see your life as a 70 million euros lottery win. So it helps you appreciate it and use it the same way that we would use the money, to spend it on whatever makes you happy, and use a percentage of it to help others, especially those who can't help themselves. The problem is that most people don't do what makes them happy and what they really want to do most of the time, because they have to sell most of it. So if you do what you love for money, you're not selling your time, but that's not always possible. It's hard to find a way to exchange what you love doing for money. Nowadays, even without having a family, you have to sell almost half of your life just for food and shelter. So I think everybody should be able to afford a modest house, a modest shelter. Every other animal can afford it if they survive. If people cannot afford a modest shelter, then there's something like seriously wrong with the system. You got to get out of the system, because it's hard to change it. Maybe if everybody gets out one by one, we'll change it that way. So I think most people don't want to be rich. What they want is freedom that money brings, not having to sell their life. And so you can become rich by either having a lot or needing little. My way of getting more freedom for myself is frugality, somewhat. I'm still selling too much of my time, doing things that I wouldn't be doing if they weren't paid, like this job that I'm doing now, caregiving. So I haven't yet found a way to sell my time very expensively, or to get enough money doing stuff that I would be doing if I wasn't paid. But on average, I work only about 6 months a year, and I have a variety. I do different jobs that I wanted to try out of curiosity, not just for money. And yeah, I just do shopping for groceries. I don't go to restaurants, bars, theaters, very, very rarely. I'm not spending much. I do have coffee once or twice a week in a cafe, and I only buy clothes at flea markets, but that's definitely not a sacrifice. I have some kind of flea market obsession or addiction. It gives me dopamine rushes, like treasure hunt. So also, I will be living in a van, so I don't have to sell all of my time to pay for a shelter, or half of my time. For most people, I think they would rather sell more time in exchange for a more comfortable shelter. I want to mention that biologically, as animals, our purpose is to procreate. That's what our DNA wants us to do. And some people find meaning in that. But that's not the meaning of life inherently. It's just one of the instincts that we have as an animal, because we are animals biologically. So Homo sapiens, we belong to the group called African apes, together with bonobos, chimpanzees, and gorillas. Sometimes that comforts me when I think what idiots we are for not understanding the psychology of wars and repeating the same mistake for centuries, for millennia. We keep having wars. We keep electing the worst among us to be our leaders just because they really, really want to. So that's like the most ignorant thing I think that we do. But we're just apes. We do what we can. Other animals also do stupid shit. So our DNA, our software, it wants us to transfer it to a younger vehicle, to a younger body, so it can continue living. And it wants us to take care of that vehicle until it's independent. And that's why it makes us love it so much, both sex and babies and food, the whole process of survival and replication. I personally managed to trick my DNA because we had a conflict of interest. I didn't want to procreate. My DNA did push back using hormones to make me want to procreate, but I won. It gives up relatively quickly. So according to my personalized calculation, if 1 year is worth 1 million euros, 1 day is worth some 2,700 euros. So I gotta go. I gotta spend my almost 3,000 euros today, because they will be gone tomorrow. They don't transfer to tomorrow and accumulate. So I gotta spend them today. But what's the meaning of me having to spend 3,000 euros today? I don't have time to paint lately. So the meaning of today is to have some coffee and breakfast first, to take a walk in nature, to talk to someone interesting, to help my client, and to eat some peanut butter. That's good enough.